Evening, everybody. Uh, sorry, I was reading all your messages, which is lovely. Lovely to see you all. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you've had a nice weekend. It was a bit horrendous with the weather yesterday, but it's been nice and sunny here despite being windy. So I've been tidying my craft room. Can you believe it? I feel that I've done it now, but I also feel I've had a workout and a half. So it's nice to be able to sit here and do something a little bit more simple today. And I'm going to be using a new die, which is the birthday splash die. Now, I said to you on Wednesday, if you were with me, that I was going to show you something a bit different and that it could be used for any genre at all and any age group. And I think I'm going to show you two different ways of using it today. And I think that therefore you will agree by the time we finish that that little statement could possibly be true. You will know where to go to get all the things, to maximumcrafts.com. However, I will just point out as well that the Zig Colour Dot markers, now I don't stock those, but I'm going to put a link, an Amazon link, at the bottom of this YouTube when I've finished. I need to do that, so I can't do it beforehand, just to be able to give you a link that you can go on. It earns me a couple of pennies if you do want them, and they seem to be very reasonable that way. So hopefully that will work for you. But that's where I have got mine from. There are cheaper versions, but they don't work very well. The cheaper versions seem to sort of not be moist enough, if you ask me. But anyway, I will show you all what I'm talking about. So let's pop that to one side and let me show you the die set. It's a three-parter. So the splash is saying happy birthday. I mean, if it was round that way, you might be able to see it a bit better. Happy birthday. It's then got a shadow, so we can put a shadow on it. And then it's got a splash. So you can use these in three different ways. You can use it on its own. You can use it with a shadow. And then for more impact, you can use it with a splash. Any colours. Go bold, go soft, go all sorts. Really, really lovely way, which I will explain as we go along for you to be thinking about. I'm also going to be using the postage stamp square easy frame, which is this one. And this was launched a couple of weeks ago. This is the large one. So it's size-wise fits onto a standard 6x6 card frame. So it's not 6 inches. It's about 5.5 probably. But that is because our standard 6x6 cards, that we call them, are more like 5 3/4. And we want it to be on the card as opposed to on top of edge to edge. So I'm going to be using that in my first card, and I'm going to be using the colorways of a silver mirror card and turquoise. Shows a bit lighter than it really is on there, but yeah, turquoise, that one's called. So without further ado, let us do some cutting. So I'm going to take my large frames, my larger one of the two frames, and I'm going to take with it my splash and also my sentiment, my happy birthday. Okay, so let's pop these onto our cutter and then we can cut them out. I'll pop that onto there. Sorry about the shiny bit. You know what it's like. So I'm going to pop that onto there. Now, because I want to sort of work at a reasonable pace, I'm going to put them both on there, which I could actually probably get away with using the waist there, to be honest. So I wouldn't be quite so flippant with the colours as I am there. So let me just pop that through. And then on my turquoise piece, I'm going to cut my smaller frame, and I'm then going to use my shadow as well. So I'm going to pop that down there too. Cut out all the pieces. You'll see that that's cut out well. Just pop those pieces in as well. See what I mean? I could have used that if I was being really frugal. Well, not frugal, just being sensible, to be honest. That's my outer piece. That's my splat. And then I will carefully, I'm just going to trim around this for a minute because I want to be able to show you how to take that one out. So I'll cut that around. And take out these as well. So as I said, the splash you can do in any shape or form. Oh, I didn't cut that properly, did I, folks? I didn't put it in the machine enough. Oh, let's slot it back in. Let's see if we can. Yeah, hopefully that is slotted back in. Let's give it a go. I thought I'd put it far enough in, and I haven't. Can't cut when there's no plates there now, can we, eh? So let's get all the pieces together. So this is going to be my shadow there. And then I've got a piece of white card as well, which I'm going to be using. Let's get all of these elements together. That's better. If you put the proper sandwich in, it's amazing how well it cuts, isn't that? So I'm going to pop those two together. So that's just putting the small frame on top of the large one. So a little bit of glue around there. And I'm going to put foam on it, but we can leave that, whoops, to just sit down and pay. Hi, Heather. How you doing? Hope you're doing okay, my love. Lovely to see you here. I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to get my splat. Now, the splat is very simple how it goes together. You've got a little sort of tongue and groove bit here, which is the B for the birthday. And you've got that same shape there and a nice straight edge and that same shape there. So I'm going to pop that straight on. And then we know that that is all in place. Just pop that onto there. Give it a chance. Put that to one side. Now, when I take my pieces out here, just going to be careful because they come out. I wanted to do it so that we had a shadow around various different places. So subsequently, I've done it in pieces, which look a little bit funny when you have put them out separately. But when you put them out all together, they just look fab. So I'm just going to carefully put that down onto there. Got a nice little splash bit there and a little dot there. Actually, you could use that as a stencil as well, you know. But we won't. It's all right. We won't. So I'm going to put the word "holiday" on first. Let me just pick up my tool there. So as I said, that straight line just fits on that straight line there. So a little bit of glue. Could use spray glue, I suppose. And just a little dot or two there. And the hoodie goes in. Then I'm going to come on the other side with my little tongue and groove bit for the B for birthday, which is going to go that side. And that can go. If I was very clever with a pair of tweezers, this is the time I should be using them. But unfortunately, I find tweezers a bit difficult. I can never decide whether I should be holding on to them or not holding on to them. So then I'm coming in, whoops, with my little RT down there. And finally, my letter I. And when I show you that bit, you'll see what I mean about the fact that it all sits in there with a little shadow all the way around. Do you see what I mean? You've got that lovely little shadow. Put a little dot on there. Whoops. Just a little tiny dot. Pick up the top of the eye and put that in as well. And then this one is in 2 pieces. So we've got the PPY, which again, really funky sort of font to it. So I wanted it to be, as I said, suitable for children as well, teenagers, just a nice little something a bit different. I love the scripty type of writing, but I wanted it to be just a little bit different here. And that one fits in there. Even a little space chopped out into the P so that we can just slot them in. And if I can, whoops. Oh, I forgot my little splash down the bottom. Again, this is going to look, my second card is going to look even more different, even differenter, because it's going to be a completely different colorway. But you can see there that that's almost like a cartoon sort of happy birthday, isn't it? I think it looks really, really lovely. So let me just scoop these little bits out of the way, and then we'll pop this card together. Let's put these pieces back here. So our 3 pieces, our splash and our shadow. You can see that is what that die set is all about. So let's bring in our cards. And I've cut a piece of linen card, which is 12.5 centimetres by 12.5 centimetres, because I want to put a little bit of a background, and that's where my Clean Dot pens come into. You've probably heard of them. They're kind of like ages old. So they're made by Kurataki, I don't know, Zig, and they are called Clean Colour Dot. As I said, I will put a link up there, which will help me a little bit if you are keen on having a go with them, but they aren't something that I stock myself. The idea of it is that you have a rounded end. So can you see that? It's like a rounded end rather than, let me show you with this one, where we have either a chisel one end or a brush the other, or a point the other. This one has a complete round, and that means that when you're pressing it onto paper, depending on how hard you press it, will give you a perfect circle, perfect dot, but it will be a uniform dot, if you see what I mean. They will all be the same sort of same size, and then you've got on the other end, you've got a very small one. So what I want to do is start off with my dot this end, so that's the bigger dot. Just going to put light pressure and just go a little bit dotty all over it. Then I'm going to go on with a bit of a bigger pressure, and you can see that I'm ending up simply with dots. Looks like it's got the measles, but the point is that I haven't had to put anything else on there at all. I'm going to then go to the other end, so that I've got a tiny little dot, which is almost not visible, to be honest, but you can also draw lines and things like that with it, and you can draw lines with the other side as well. So it just gives that, and then I'm going to go for a couple of bigger dots, so you can see then that there are all different sizes. Looks like it's got the measles, but it's all done with the one pen, and you haven't got to sort of worry about what pressure you put on or anything. So let's bring our card over. I'm going to do it so that the fold is at the top there, and I'm simply going to pop this straight down onto my card. And with the easy frames as well, pop that into the middle. The whole thing just makes a card up very simply already. Yeah. Whoops. And then I shall grab hold of some foam. So I'm just going to put some foam on, these 4 sides of my easy frame, my postage stamp easy frame. I don't know what I've done to that, because I've made it, I don't know if I took the wrong end off or something. I don't know what I did, but I've got in a bit of a pickle. Remove the rest of it, like so. Pop that onto the card. Put a little bit of foam onto the back of my splash, and I'm going to pop 2 of these on. I think these just fit in there quite nicely. 2 of those. I would like to say at this point I knew exactly where they were because I tidied them up earlier. So when I don't know where they are on Wednesday, bring my card back in, and then my beautiful happy birthday splash in the centre. Absolutely perfect for a load of different people. As I said, perfect for masculine, perfect for teenagers and children. You could always put your numbers on this one as well. So just a really, really simple one. We like simple, but we like simple and easy to do, but with a bit of a wow factor. And I think this has a bit of a wow factor. Let me just show you some other bits and pieces that you could do with it, plus the other card. So I'll pop that to one side. So I have now got with me same size card, 6 by 6, but this time I'm going for even more simplicity. So I'm going to cut black and white and a little bit of gold as well. So I'm first of all going to check the measurement of my card, which, don't need to have such a long bit out there, which is 14.5 approximately. So my black piece, get that out of the way. My black piece is going to be 14. So 14 by 14. Then I'm going to grab myself a piece of gold. Just thinking, need a bigger piece of gold. That was me thinking I was going to get away with that, with a scrap. And a real piece is required, so let's just go with that. So this one's 13.5. That's of your gold mirror. And then a piece of hammered white, because I want a bit of texture on it, that's going to be 13 by 13. So each layer is coming down bit by bit. Okay. Bring my card back in, and I'm going to assemble the layers. So this is the first one, which was 14 by 14. So I'm going to put that one on first. And pop that onto the card front. Then I'm going to put my gold mirror on. And that's my next layer. Sorry about the blinding of the light. Just hold that on. Sorry, I can hardly see got the sun comes in this room at this time of year, and it comes down so low that it blinds me for whatever is that people are saying. I do apologise for that. Then I've got my plain piece, which is 13 by 13. And as I said, I'm not colouring this one, not doing anything, because the dies are going to do all the work with this one. And it is simplicity itself. So we're just going to cut those 3 layers with the black, the gold, and the white. Now, here's one I made earlier. I've already cut from gold a twisted square, and that's going to go onto my card base. So let's just put a bit of glue onto that. I like the way, or what I try to do is so that the dies all sort of can be used together, and they also can be used on their own and still have that really lovely finish. And so that is what I've tried to do for today. Use some of the dies that you may already have, and in terms of the easy frames or the twisted square, and then pop them together with maybe a die that you've already got, but maybe one of the new splashes, one of the birthday splashes. Let's pop that onto there. Just hold that into place a second. And then I've already done it. I have already cut out the black shadow only, haven't gone for the splash with this one, and I've already put on the gold happy birthday, because we're going to just do a simple splat on the back in the gold again. So I'm just going to cut out that with my gold, pop that on. Just put that through. So you could use that on its own. You could just use those 2 together. It gives you that sort of funky look. And then, or I should say, or you can add to it and then just put your splash. So as I said, your splash, if you look at the tongue and groove on the left, that's the B for the birthday bit. And then the straight line there is the straight line there, which is for the letter Y on the birthday. And then just simply pop them together. And again, just keeping those basic colours, black, white and black, white and gold. It just fits in really lovely. Just and I'm going to pop a little bit of foam onto there too. 2 little bits on the back, just to give it a little bit more of an oomph. And there you go. So again, as I often say, I know, if you like quick, then you've got something like this. Or if you want to go a bit more to town, you've then got something more like we did earlier. oh, can't get hold of it, which has more involved, where you've got to do the background and all that sort of thing. So again, 2 different looks, but again, equally ideal for any sort of occasion there. As I said, you could also then go for things like taking the splat from one of these ombre type of cards. So you've got a real look of paint there. So that's another ideal splat. You can, of course, then just put the happy birthday sentiment without the shadow. That can go in there. Again, simply lining up the B for birthday with the tongue and groove on the left and the Y on the birthday bit down here. And then everything else easily fits into place with that. You've also got then cut out a white one here, so you can just see where that actually goes, and then you can do your different colours of your happy birthday, everything. There's lots of different scope for these, and I can't wait to see what you get up to if you've decided to treat yourself with a set of this. All 3 dies come in the section. Embossing folders at the back would look good. I also think this would look fab. This paper, I've got the gold marbled card, I should say, not paper, and that would make a fantastic background for something like that as well. So all sorts. Look forward to seeing what you're going to do all with it. It will be great to see it. So I will be back on Wednesday evening this week at 6 o'clock. Not quite sure what I'm going to bring you yet, because there's 2 or 3 things, and I'm still thinking about Christmas. I've got the Christmas launch coming up. I'm going to hopefully bring that to you in July. The first launch for me will be in July. It will be, I think it's the 10th. 3rd, I think, is the first Sunday. It's the 2nd Sunday, July the 10th. That will be my first Christmas launch for you. So I'm looking forward to showing you that. But it does seem a bit silly talking about Christmas, doesn't it? So that shines back on you. So in the meantime, we'll talk about birthdays. I know it's Father's Day next Sunday, but I decided against doing particularly Father's Day things. I think that's a bit limited for us. But from my point of view, I have still got a father, as most of you know. And tomorrow, I'm going to definitely be booking him a flight in a Spitfire. That's what he wants to do. So we're going up to the local aerodrome, Goodwood, and booking him a flight in a Spitfire, just because he can. So there you go. At 99, time to do things you want to do, eh? So that's my job for tomorrow. I will see you again on Wednesday. And I'll tell you all, we're only booking it tomorrow. He's not actually doing it tomorrow, but I'll tell you all about it when I speak to you then. In the meantime, take care. Have a good weekend for the rest of the time, and I'll see you on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Thank you so much. Take care. Oh, instructions will be tomorrow, says June. So look out on the Facebook group for that, and a little thumbs up down here would be wonderful. Thank you very much then. Take care. Bye.